Hi, my name's Nico. I took the liberty of writing down my responses for the first part of the end of the year reflection section. But I wanted to write my response, but also record me reading my response for this section, the self reflection section for anti racist educator. So here's my reflection. I came into this field not just teaching, but childcare in general with two goals in mind: teach children the power of imagination and the value of hard work. I have trouble believing that my paramount task is to fight the harms of racism. I'm 28, half black and half Filipino. My mom was the first generation to immigrate to America, and my dad is an African American who grew up in Hunters Point. I sometimes find it unfortunate that I have to preface my ideas by sharing that information because the truth is that there are people of all races, genders, sexualities, and ages that share similar beliefs to mine. Needless to say, I'm recording this video instead of just writing my answers because I want to make sure that you hear my ideas in good faith. I'm not saying this to be snarky or insubordinate, but more so concerned. My problem with anti-racism is that it never accounts for me. Me as in the individual who might have a different perspective on the issues than you. My whole life I've tried to understand the meaning behind being black. Mainstream society's definition of the term ebbs and flows from generation to generation. As I understand it now, the definition for being black is you are a member of a group of people who've been marginalized by white supremacy. It means that you believe the police in this country are actively hunting down your people. It means dealing with an onslaught of daily racism, which cripples you more and more each day. It means that you're not capable of reaching success on your own terms because white supremacy is a truly destructive obstacle. As a gesture of good faith on my part, I attached a journal that I wrote the first day I was in the credentialing program back in 2018. Going back farther than that, I spent years reading Ta-Nehisi Coates, Malcolm X, and James Baldwin, just to name a few. Eventually, I reached a point where I asked myself, why is my own personal success dependent on something outside of me? I may be black, but I have inherent strengths and weaknesses to explore just like everyone else. Why does my success rely on the guilt of white people? Am I not black if I love this country? Am I not black if I value the police? Am I not black if I grew up middle class and lived in the suburbs? What am I? I look at my skin and the soil of the plantation of which my ancestors lived on, and I figure that's more than enough, right? With anti-racism, I feel like you're training people, children included, to view me and people with my complexion as victims. As a result, the communicative environment in our schools is guarded and strained. I believe that makes for the worst biome in which to cultivate the growth of children. Learning is a messy process in which risks are inevitable. To limit those risks by removal of them is disingenuous. Anti-racism claims to speak for black people, but the truth is it doesn't. True. There is a population of minorities that are sympathetic to Ibram X. Kennedy, but it is not fair to put forth his work and claim it to be the voice of the oppressed. Because first of all, might I ask, why is that label immediately prescribed to me? Is it because of my skin color? Why am I being forced to agree to that? I love myself. I don't want to carry the weight of identifying as oppressed. I don't want my white colleagues and students to carry the weight of identifying as oppressor. Nobody wins in an environment like that. I'll conclude with this. Why does the color of my skin cause you to predict my thoughts, my beliefs, my hopes, and my fears? Is my skin color and plantation soil invalidated the second I disagree with you? If my skin was white and sharing these beliefs, would you fire me? Call me racist or privileged? I'm half Asian. Would you call me white adjacent and disregard my thinking? There's a gross problem with applying pre-made labels and beliefs to groups of people, no matter the intentions. You believe yourself to be more certain of folk, but in reality, you're only creating more obstacles. Ultimately, you miss the opportunity of seeing the individual. If I worked in a school where all the staff were young black men, I'd still aim to stand out. Because as much as I appreciate and love my ethnicity, it was never about being a good black or multiracial teacher. I just wanted to be the best me. If everything I am and everything I've experienced in my life could be seen as a tapestry, for someone to only focus on my race would be the equivalent of obsessing over a pretty design in the corner and not seeing anything else. The result? I don't just miss out on you. You don't just miss out on me, but we miss out on each other. And how does that cater to human progress? So thank you for listening to what I have to say. I appreciate it. I really appreciate the resources you provided me through this crazy first year of teaching. But I really wanted to share these ideas with you and record them, and hopefully you listen and enjoy your summer as well.